what up?
What?
Alright, they can see us now. Okay, I think we're set.
Oh, we
13.
said all right.
Yeah. All right, let's just do this. I'm going to start recording now.
Go.
Yeah, welcome to the Blue Reeds Podcast, episode number 213. I'm Adrian. Got David here. That's it.
Hell yeah.
No frills this week, just the two doing it.
Just two old good boys having fun.
That's exactly. This is our video game podcast. We talk weekly about video games, doing all that. Starting in about a month from now, a little less than a month from now, I suppose, we'll have our first episode of our revamped Games Gone By. That's our video game book club.
Hell yeah.
Remember, we're starting off strong with Alan Wake midway through August. We will have a little pre-episode. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week, actually, because I got swamped this week with stuff. But I'm going to give you guys for sure final places to log in and find all the episodes on next week. I want to get as close to as a date as possible just because I don't want it to sit in limbo. But we will have a pre-episode, and then we'll start doing that, and I have it all scheduled out that we're going to have some of those old episodes go on there. And then let's talk about what we talked about last week, David. So we went through Games Gone By, and we discovered that unfortunately we're missing episodes.
Yes.
We are missing about 6 or 7 episodes. I can assume. I feel like we're probably missing one of that too, which means it's definitely not memorable. But those are gone in limbo. I guess I didn't know YouTube deletes VODs after 2 years.
Literally the dumbest fucking thing considering it's YouTube.
I didn't know that. No one should blame me out there at all, because I was like, that does not result. People have videos up from here, random ass videos from 15 years ago of them and their dog walking around the side of the road for 40 minutes. Those exist. How does a live stream just not exist on this channel? It's bizarre. Maybe it is. Maybe it's somewhere I'm missing. In which case, if someone tell me how to look at that, maybe it's a weird filter thing. Please tell me. I would love to have them just for archival sake. But with that said, upon deep reflection of that, I don't feel attached to a lot of those episodes at all. In fact, I feel like if we can go back and redo them, we would do them better. So therefore, David and I kind of introduced the idea to ourselves as a rewind. So Games Gone By is going to come in a couple different form factors. Games Gone By is going to be its thing. It's going to start in episode 1 as a reboot. We're coming back at it as if we're just starting brand new. We haven't started this brand new. There's a whole new thing. So there's going to be vault episodes, meaning that episodes from this channel are you put on that channel, and they're going to be hidden off my channel, just so that we consolidate in one spot. So you can have them all in one spot. That way you have to go between channels. I personally hate doing that. Whenever I'm looking up episodes, I hate going back and forth between channels. So we're going to be all in there. Then we're going to have our weekly episodes, but those will not be part of the podcast feed. So when you're listening in per every episode, you're not getting old episodes. That's not a thing. You just go on the YouTube and find them on there, though. So, and then we're going to have them kind of cooking every single week until we get to a point, I think, where we're comfortable. We're going to go with the idea of revisiting episodes. Or games, rather. Not everyone, definitely not every single one, but there's a good chunk of them that we feel like we would love to go back to and at least look at from a different perspective. Maybe we weren't in the right mindset for that. Maybe we just want to play it again. Who knows? But we will open that up just that way. We just always have stuff to go back to, right?
Hell yeah.
But let me give the quick kind of lowdown. Out the gate, Alan Wake and Alan Wake's American Nightmare. That's your first month of Games Gone By, August. And I'll just do September, and we'll save the whole list for next week when we get deep into it. I think that'll be our pre-game Games Gone By pre-game will be next episode. But then September, we're gonna have Final Fantasy 7 and Resident Evil 7, a couple 7s in there. So yeah, if you've not already started, probably start gearing up to prep for Alan Wake. It's not a long game though, so don't feel like you gotta rush through it or you have to section off a lot of time for it. But we're gonna try our best. No promises, at least on my end. We're We're gonna try our best to not rush through games though. So I'm definitely gonna. I have like about a week and a half left of vacation, and that doesn't include the next couple days where I got to spend time like prepping for work. But I'm gonna definitely try to knock out at least Alan Wake if I can sometime next week. I would hope.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all our business stuff out of the way. David, what you up to this last week? I've been gone. You've been doing your thing. We were supposed to play games last week or last night, and then I had an unfortunate friend with an incident there. But how BattleBit go last night? Your friends like it?
Pretty good. Everyone had fun with it. Weirdly, the kind of one complaint that immediately came to their minds was one I hadn't thought of, and it's the fact that you can't actually use the civilian vehicles.
Okay.
So especially on like a lot of the larger maps, you'll see a lot of vehicles laying around, but they're just for display. You can't actually drive them.
Sure.
So this is a little silly. I do agree with that. If you're gonna bother to put extra vehicles on there, you probably should make them usable. But beyond that, we played for a few hours of the 127 versus 127, and that was a fucking blast. There is one map that was really fucking heinous, where the way it's set up is that there's actually one of the capture points is underground in like a metro, and so trying to figure out how to get in and out of there is just fucking ridiculous. So we spent most of our time ignoring that point. But otherwise than that, it was a fantastic time.
I do want to say just kudos to them because there's a few people making this game, and for what they made, good shit. And if they can properly expand and keep chipping away at this, I can imagine this game's got long legs and will have a long lifespan on that.
100%, especially where there's such a vacuum right now for a game like this. You know, Battlefield has been trash for the last few releases, and aside from that, I don't think there even really is any other like proper
full scale game.
Not quite, yeah. Not. I was gonna say like a more of a military sim, but even Battlefield is like in between. It's not like full Arma level military sim, but they're just missing a good real team shooter.
Yeah, no, I agree. Froogies, love that map, says Kels.
Hell yeah.
What else you been up to, David, this last week?
Actually been playing quite a bit lately. This week I just kind of allowed myself to just relax my brain a bit. So I actually went through a small little game called Press Any Button.
Okay.
It's on Steam. I got it probably from a Humble Bundle or when it was dirt cheap at some point. But I saw it was like an hour to complete, and honestly, it even only took me like 40. Started it on Steam Deck just to realize it's really fucking hard to play on Steam Deck. You kind of need an actual mouse and keyboard set up for it.
Fair.
But it's a cute little game. The whole kind of premise is it's kind of like a brick breaker kind of style, almost like an Arkanoid-y kind of game, but it's a meta commentary on the game development process. So as you're kind of just doing this very simple little gameplay, and it's called Press Any Button because literally you can just press one button to do everything for most part. There's like this narrative about this AI that's trying to make the game and is trying to get input on what makes good game design and what makes people happy when it comes to games. And I had a surprising amount of enjoyment for it. It was just something to quickly kind of bang out a quick little play of that, call it a day there. Aside from that, I also did start up Alan Wake Remastered. I'm still really enjoying the story, but I forgot how fuckeredly paced the beginning part of the game is. It's just so start-stop with a lot of it. You know, obviously when we get to the episode proper, we'll kind of get into details more about it. The story is fantastic, but the pacing is really fucking weird in the beginning of the game.
I mean, it is kind of just a Stephen King novel.
I mean, yeah, those are pretty fucking awkwardly paced, and that's coming from a Stephen King fan.
Yeah. Well, I wonder why you're a Stephen King fan. You know, I feel like you're all kind of obligated to be.
Fair enough. But No, it's like I said. I mean, I'm still enjoying the story, but just the pacing is fucking weird, and I don't remember it being this awkward.
That's fair. I mean, it's still it is a remastered game, so it's definitely got 360 vibes to it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but nice. And what else? You been up to anything though?
Other than that, just finally getting more of the home server up and running again. That's about it.
What are your plans for Barbenheimer Day?
Uh, at some point, probably we'll end up seeing Barbie. Oppenheimer will probably end up being once it's hit streaming.
That's that's just weird. That's weird to me, but I get it, I guess.
The fiance is interested in Barbie, so at some point, probably we'll end up seeing that.
I heard
so.
Barbie was good. Shout out to Kyle. I saw Kyle when I was out there, and he gave a big thumbs up to Barbie. At Baggy, David reminds me of Barbie.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing Barbenheimer tomorrow. I am gonna do Barbenheimer plus Asteroid City, I believe. I've not done a triple feature in many moons, many years actually. When I was doing the AMC club back in like 2019 pre-COVID, I would do triple features on the weekends, and I've not done that in a long time. But summer, the end of summer is coming quick. I am very selective with my time currently, and I still have a lot to do in my apartment and a lot to do at work as well as plan. So I think it's like I want to watch Asteroid City for a while. I've been advised not to because it's like it's already a double feature. It's gonna be tough. Adding that to the end is gonna be tougher. But time is limited, and I need to just crank those things out. And also, I hear with just the quality of those 3 movies that might be a really fantastic day. Usually, you kind of want to pamper in, like maybe put like a reverse of an Oreo there. Maybe I put like 2 good, like one good at the end, one good movie at the start, decent, mediocre in the middle, and then end it with a good. But I'm just gonna go bam, 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 and try to knock them all out. So hopefully I can have some impressions next week. Kel's had a lot of time, had a ton of fun at Asteroid City. Granted, I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. Yeah, it looks really good. I've been trying to watch it for like about a month now, and this is the last showing. It's 11:30 p.m., which is unfortunate. So I'm like trying to figure out what to do with that. So I'm just planning out my time to be like, all right, Barbie, Oppenheimer, and I'm trying to do Barbenheimer. No one wants to do Barbenheimer. Everyone wants like, I'll just do Barbie. I'm like, come on, you gotta watch Oppenheimer. That's my dude. Christopher Nolan's my dude. But no one's doing that. So I just said, fuck it. I'll just do the IMAX. And I got like there's like one seat in between a bunch of people, like right in the middle. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to do that. That's fine. Cause I need to see that in IMAX. I was this close. I was this close to, driving out to, Phoenix, just to see, Oppenheimer in 70 millimeter IMAX. There's one theater in Phoenix, and that's the closest one near me. There's only like 12 or I think 12 or I think like 20 theaters, maybe it's either 12, 16 or 20. Those are the only theaters in the U.S. that are playing 70 millimeter Oppenheimer, and I was like contemplating. I was like, I fucking want to so bad, but I put my car through the ringer this last trip, and I do not want to be driving anymore. I'm actively burnt out. Got myself like a nice. You can see it on stream for GT. Got myself my nice little. My summer tan. I like to see how I call it my summer stripe. The more clear that is, the better my summer was.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a lot.
Also,
yeah.
real quick on the subject of Barbie, this just in, Gore thought it was mid.
Who did?
Gore.
Unfortunate.
Sad day.
I'm gonna go.
God of movies has spoken.
Yeah, I'll go with Kyle. I've heard a few people that I know that watch a movie that said they liked it. So, shout outs to Gore. I'm gonna go on positively looking at it. So, I had a week. Saw Aquabats, killer show.
Hell yeah.
Killer show. Fucking loved it. It had been almost a decade since I last saw them. They still got it. No one ever doubted it. I didn't doubt it, but I can confirm they still got it, in case anyone was wondering. Killer set list. Fucking love the set list. And Jumped into my second ever mosh pit. I was bouncing around, and then you could tell with like around the end of the show they had like two more songs left. You kind of have that feeling, you know, when you're at a concert, like, all right, this isn't the last one, but the next one has to be the last one. And they played Fashion Zombies, and I'm like, all right, I'm in. And shout out to Kells. Kells responded back saying, I feel like a Aquabats mosh pit would be just people hugging and fist bumping. You would think, nah, it was a mosh pit. It was a mosh pit. And big shout outs to a dad. There was a dad in there that had his kid on his shoulders that was mosh pitting, and that dad that dad not only held up, but was like causing damage to people, and he was like, that kid was like a stone. Like, that kid was not moving. That dad was like built for it. So big shout outs to that. Made it to Arizona, and it was 111 rolling in there. My tire popped. Then I fucking knew it. Was like, I had a bad feeling that morning. I'm like, I just have a really bad feeling about this. I'm like, that's the only thing I'm worried about. And sure enough, it popped, but it was like 5 minutes. Like, it was right when we rolled up in town. It was like only 5 minutes away from a tire shop. So best place it could have happened. And then yeah, it was 110, 111 around there for the first 2 days when I was roaming around Arizona. I had gone through the Mojave Valley on accident driving back, and it was 120 there. That shit sucked. But yeah, then I visited the House of Mouse, and still very expensive, a lot of lines, but it was a good time. I had fun.
Good shit.
Yeah, there was the Rise of the Resistance ride was super solid. That's the one where you are essentially like, you are part of the riot essentially, which is kind of cool. It is like you go in and they have crew members there. They're like cast members. If you guys got caught, and they guide you in and push, like not push you, but they'll be very adamant and like kind of rude to you because they're the why am I blanking on words? I forget. I'm forgetting things. They captured you. You got to go in there. You're in a car and like everything's moving around. Everything looked pretty cool. It was super fun. I'm blanking on a lot of things right now, but that was super fun. The not too many malfunctioning rides. Let's see. Kel says Rise is insane. I see a dude almost fight the First Order cast members there. Yeah, it's super fun. Like they get really into it, which is funny. And yeah, we did that in California Adventure. Was not doing Guardians again. I can't do free fall rides. You know this. I can't do free fall rides. Fucking hate them. I hate them. I did Tower of Terror. I think we did that, right? Was that us doing it?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I hate it. Did that. We both hated that.
I fucking hate it. I hate it. My friends made me do the Guardians ride when they came down. It's the same shit. Same shit. Yep. It's literally the same thing. It's just Guardians themed. And fucking hated it then. And my friend's there and she's like, I want to do this. I'm like, I'm not going on it. Like, I will walk you through most of the line. I'm just not going on there. Like, and it's like, you don't drag you don't go to a concert with a friend that vehemently hates that band. Exactly. It's just souring it. Like, it's not like we're like, oh, but it'll be fun. It's not gonna be fun because I'm just gonna complain about it. And I'm saying this as if they were like complaining about it. They're like totally understanding. Like, yeah, no, that's fine. Like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm done. I fucking hate free falls. I hate that feeling. And so I skipped Guardians this time. It was fun. Like, when I did Guardians, it was cute, but I'm not doing it. Let's see. Did Web Slingers. That was cool. Definitely exhausting. Let's see. The Grizzly water ride I did, that thing took almost like 2 hours to get through because it was about 90 to 100 degrees out there. And everyone just wanted to fucking be in the water, so everyone was like wanting to ride that ride, which is understandable. But Jesus Christ, I love that ride though. That's the one I'll ride that thing all fucking day if I could. Then did both the Cars ones, the one where you're like doing the dance with Luigi, and then you're doing the Roadsters one. The Roadster one, like it's as close to roller coaster as I'll ever get, which is fine because it was fun. Did most of the base stuff, But otherwise, yeah. And I got a couple things that I will show off in a second about what we got. But overall, pretty good. Unfortunately, just did not get through any book time. Did not get through any games really. It was just exhausting. Like that was concerts already take a fucking ton. It's standing that sucks. I could walk all day, that's fine. Standing fucking sucks. I hate standing. Standing hurts like a motherfucker. I do not understand the biological I don't understand the rationale behind why standing hurts more than walking. Like if my feet hurt, I just want to move them, and it hurts less. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be some muscle buildup or something that hurts, but like that shit sucks. So like concerts, I'm getting to a point now. I'm 31 years old. Concerts are getting to a point where it's like I want to sit. I don't want to stand. I want to sit. Will it be if it's a concert that I'm really excited for? Fuck it, cool. I'll be in there. I'll stand. But if it's like a concert that I'm like very timidly like, I want to sit. Find me a spot to sit. Good.
No, that's 100% what the fiance and I did, because we're going to that Death Clock Baby Metal concert.
Oh, I was gonna go to that. Fuck. They're playing in Vegas in October, and my friend Nick really wanted me to go, and the friend I went to with Disneyland wants to do the horror days over in Orlando, or not Orlando, the Universal, and I was like, and Nick's like, if you're gonna drive through, come do Baby Metal. I'm like, fuck, but the tickets are very expensive.
They were. I think for the seats we got, it was like 130 per.
And that's not back rid of Vegas.
No, especially not compared to Vegas. But yeah, no, we ended up getting like rafter seats just that way we could fucking sit down and just enjoy it. Because I was contemplating getting floor spots, if only just because there was a part of my brain that's like, I kind of want to mosh again. But
it hurts,
one,
David.
I am getting old.
It hurts.
I'm not as youthful and spry as I used to be. And two, also, I think it was confirmed that they haven't been allowing moshing at their shows. So
weird. Yeah, no.
I'm gonna guess it's probably some kind of contractual thing with getting Baby Metal to be a part of it, because they have to keep a cleaner image to a degree.
I mean, Aquabaz is in a mosh pit.
There. Japan follows weird rules, man.
So that's what I thought of when I was like, I contemplated. It was like the beginning of Fashion Zombies, and it was like a solid 5 seconds. And it was the slowest 5 seconds of my life because it just topped. And I'm like, do I got it in me to like throw down? I've only ever done one mosh pit in my life, and that was with Pennywise when they did a Nirvana cover of like my favorite song, Territorial Pissings. And I'm like, this is as close as I'm ever going to get to Nirvana mosh pit, so I'm in. And that was like in 2015, I think. 2015 or 2016. That was a long time ago. And I was like, I thought about it. I was like, do I hop in? And I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. And I went in and I moshed like the whole thing. And that song is only like 3.5 minutes. And I was fucking winded at the end of that, dude. It was like, that shit like had me gasping for air the last like whole song. So that's the band. Is this Gorillaz or something?
Yep.
I am sitting, and you know what? You know what, David? You know what I fucking hate? Here's actually realized. This is what I fucking hate most in life. I hate this. I hate at sitting concerts where people stand. Fuck you. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. I get so fucking pissed. It's like there's seats, and the one motherfucker has to stand, and because of that, you're in the front. It's a domino effect, because like, yeah, if you stand, the one behind you has to stand because they can't see, and then everyone's standing. I'm like, dude, you're in the front seat. Why the fuck are you standing up? It's literally like, oh, I get so actively livid because I'm like, fuck, I gotta stand. And it's like, what the fuck is the point of the seats? What's the fucking point of the seats? I don't get it. It's like, if I am on the seats, I have to get the fucking front row, so I don't fucking have to like stand over someone. It's so annoying. I hate that shit. If you want to stand, go to the bottom. If you can't afford the bottom, then go away. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
God damn it. I hate that. I don't ever think about that until I'm in the concert. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Also, I genuinely always feel bad for people that stand behind the people with like someone on their shoulders. If it's a kid, it's unfortunate. Like, I'm like, sorry, dude. Like the kid can't see, whatever. If it's someone short, I get it. It sucks. Most of the time, it's like it's warranted because it's usually like the person's like 5'2", 5'1". They can't see, so the boyfriend lifts them up, or like I mean, it could be girlfriend too. Shout out, 2023, or
Yeah.
or if it's a kid, like whatever. But like it sucks because I'm like the person behind them, like, well, I can't see. That sucks. Um, there's a lot of concert etiquette that just it's in my brain while I'm there, and then afterwards I'm like, oh, I forget about it. Um, but yeah, no, standing all that time in those fucking lines actively killed me. Shout outs to Rise of the Resistance. There's a lot of like seats embedded in the wait time, which is interesting. Like you bob and weave and you do the whole Disneyland thing where there's like an infinite amount of line space, but like once you get closer in, like the walls are kind of shaped in a way that are meant for you to sit, which is nice. Because Lord help me, my feet were fucking dead by the end, and they really hurt. And it was like I knocked out probably like I think it equal 24,000 steps per day, which was a good workout. And then when you think about the sun and then just standing most of that, like shit sucked. On the bright side, I ate a ton and I didn't get a single pound. I think I lost weight still, which is nice. Um, but yeah. I'm gonna get my water. David, what'd you get this week?
Hell yeah. I literally got only one thing.
Okay,
And that was all right. So the one thing I got this week, just because it was dirt fucking cheap. Shout outs to Wario64, Valkyrie Elysium. Sadly, did not come with the code for the free version of the fucking PS1 remaster, so don't have that, which really fucking sucks. But I mean, this was a game I was gonna get regardless, anyways. Just would have been nice to have that fucking download code.
What game was it? Sorry.
So Valkyrie Elysium, when it first launched, you could get a code to give you a download of a remastered version of the PS1 game. But this one that I picked up unfortunately did not come with that code.
I gotta check mine. I guess I know that. Nice. All right, I got some stuff. Let's see.
Hell yeah.
Let's go with some of the. Let's go with the games first, actually. Let's see. This was it finally hit the price point that I was okay with, so I got that Bayonetta game. I heard really good things about it. Like I've always heard good things about it, but it just like it's. I hate saying it. I really do actually hate saying it. It just doesn't visibly look like a game that should have been $60.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, it looked like a downloadable game. I remember like a $20 game, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's a full retail game." Which again, I've heard it was great. Like I heard it was great, but
no, but it definitely has that like mid-era Xbox Live Arcade where everyone was doing some kind of tie-in. Just
yeah, it looks exactly like that,
it.
and it sucks because again, I want to like, I want to give, I don't want to make it like be a little like make whatever you want. If it's a good game, it's a good game. But also, I'm just trying not to spend full price on many games this whole era of video gaming.
Yeah.
Speaking of full price, though, I am always to play full price as much as I can for that. So I got Ghost Trick, shout outs,
Good shit.
Play Asia, got this game. Whew, feels good. I'm excited. Great game. All right, let's do some of this stuff. Let's see. At the House of Mouse, I got this cool little, or I don't want to say cool little. I got a Marvel beanie. I was like contemplating it, and I was like, I don't think I really want that. I saw people wearing it. I'm like, this actually looks kind of nice. I've been my bucket hat
Did you
era.
get another light up hat, of which apparently yesterday was the anniversary of you getting that hat?
I saw the picture. Did you know that also it was on Monday was Disneyland's birthday? So apparently, like both times I went, it's like it just barely missed the birthday by like a couple days.
Huh.
Yeah, so it was good because I was in California Adventure for the birthday, which is good because I'm sure Disneyland Park was fucking packed. No, so there is a substantial lack of novelty hats now. I love getting dumbass hats, and I'm not talking like a baseball cap that has Grogu or something on it. I want like a dumbass hat, like my light up hat, which I wore. and I actually found one. I looked in both parks at every shop. Only one store had those hats, and there were like two left, and it was like in the back corner. I barely found them on the last day I was there. 2 days. So it was the very last. I found them like towards the evening of the second day. Um, and mine's like a little bit better built. Like you could tell they definitely cheaped out the materials like by a pinch. But that's the only place I saw them because I was like, no one else is wearing this hat, and I could have sworn I was like, I guess it's just one of those like oh, it's just like it was there for a little bit, but no, it's still there, but it's like it was in the corner. And I didn't see any other novelty hats really. I saw like the raccoon hat that we saw there, the skin hat, like the one like the I forget what they call, old timey hats.
Yeah.
They had like some pirates hats. They had Indiana Jones hat. Like okay, um, but they didn't really have any novelty hats. Not even the Goofy, that big ass hat that always has Goofy on it. They don't have that hat anywhere. I was surprised. I was like aiming for that. I was like, I want a dumbass hat. I like just like buying dumbass hats whenever I'm like at a place like that. I just didn't have it. So that was unfortunate, and I was very disappointed in Disney. However, I did get gifted some ears. My friend was trying to get me some ears. She was like, "All right, I'm gonna buy you some ears." I was like, she's like, "You just gotta find the ones you want." And I spent the whole day in Disneyland, and I just could not find any ears that I like actively like felt like, oh, these are it. This is the ones I want. So I got through. Is this? I feel like it's supposed to be this way. Huh? I guess not. Oh no, it's this way. So the first day we were there, she didn't think I was gonna actually find one, and she found these. I thought these were cool. Because she knows I got my film class coming up, so she got me these ears. Like you can see, like the stars in the middle, and then it's got the Walt Disney thing. And I was like, all right, these are cool. And then it didn't take me till the second day, where I got there and I saw these. I'm like, oh, these are my ears. Got the ears. Got the little hat in the middle. So I thought those were cool. Let's see. I don't want to show off next. I'll show off this. Did you get anything when you were there?
No.
I forget. You just were not prepared for you to go there. It was totally off.
No.
Like, oh, okay. Let's see. Whoops. Sorry. All right. These things. All right. All right, David, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I got some Spider-Man eyes. So they actually like they can do different things depending on. There, I'm winking at you. Got Sleepy Spider-Man. Let's see.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, they were usually $60. So I'm like, no, but then they were half off. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see. Sorry, someone mentioned me something a lot. But these are cool. And then the last thing, which is the piece of the resistance, I would say. Did you ever hear? You know how you can customize the lightsabers, right?
Yeah.
You know you can customize droids.
I did not.
Yeah, so you can customize droids, and you can make them like you can schedule your time, and you can go in. There's like a conveyor belt, and it has all these parts. And I got a video I'm gonna pop up here in a minute. And you can customize the parts. You can put different. It's like a Build-A-Bear almost too, because you can like put in your the voice chip that you want, the voice sounds. It's a really cool little experience. We got that. You can between like the R2 droids or like the BBs. I went with the BBs because they looked cooler. God dang it. Sorry, hold on. Vamp for like 1 minute. Hold up.
All right. So while you're looking something up, I'm actually going ahead and tinkering through the home server a little bit here, just updating my Docker containers and whatnot. And I have to say, so it's not in our stories, but I wanted to throw it in there, but I didn't. So Google's doing a really shitty thing where part of what they're doing with their new Bard AI tool is they're allowing it to scan through everything in fucking Google Docs. So I am trying to rapidly look for a fucking replacement because get fucked for anything like that. And one of the tools I'm looking into is Nextcloud, and it's such a pain. It's so simple, deceptively so, to get set up and running. So looking at it, it's a self-hosted option. Depending what you want to do with it, you can either piecemeal it so you have individual pieces of what it's for, or you could just throw the whole thing in basically. And it does calendar syncing, file management syncing, access or remote access and download for your files, etc. But it's absolutely fucking insane how much there is to the goddamn README to get things initially set up the way you want them. Because apparently with the all-in-one script, you can only run it the one time when you initially set it up, and then after that, it's all about basically nuking it and starting fresh each time if you want to really adjust anything. So this is a pain in the ass to actually get the set up the way I want it.
Interesting.
But yes, now continue.
Yeah, no, sorry. So I put a call out for people to help me move around stuff at work, and everyone hit me with messages at once. So my bad. Kels, the lightsaber build is insane. It's such a great experience because it's like a full-on show too. Yeah, so I'm not a big Star Wars person at all. So my friend that went is, but they wanted. I didn't want to do the lightsaber thing alone because they knew I was going to do that because I'm not in any sort of way to spend $250 on that thing. Even though they look fucking cool. I have a friend that has 3 of them and they look so fucking dope in their apartment.
Yeah.
But I was like, maybe another time. But what they did is book 2 times to do the droids, which is super cool. So let me show you those now. So they come out on a conveyor belt. And let's see. Where is you? They look like this.
Huh.
Oh, come on. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it really well, but yeah, like they come out like that. So it's cool because you can just kind of pick your parts in different colors and stuff. And then yeah, so here's mine. Let's see.
Also, while you're putting it up real quick, if you are someone that likes getting the Epic Store free games, one of the free games going on right now is one that, if I remember correctly, you were quite fond of, which was Murder by Numbers.
Murder by Numbers is it's Kino. It's pretty much Sudoku, but it's like whatever. It's a cool little story with it. There's my little BB. I can let's see if I can. I'll turn him on. I won't make him move because he'll just die right now. Let's see. Oh, I definitely want to do the lightsabers next time though, because I do think it's just cool. It's a cool experience. Which was the same thing with this. Like it's like if you had walked me up there and like showed me this thing and said, "Hey, buy this for $100," I'd be like, no. But like do the whole experience of like customizing it, making whatever you wanted. That's the cool part of it, right? So
yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Did I turn it on here, or I might have turned it off on accident? Oops. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so you
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, you can at least see you could turn in there like that. Yeah, so like they had different chips that you can pick, so you can do different pitches of that. It definitely does roll around, and you can make him. It's totally fine. Like, he doesn't just like fall off himself or anything. It sticks pretty well. Been chasing my family's dogs around with this, which is super fun. Always gotta love that. They stare at it like what the fuck, and then they move, and then it follows them, and they freak out. It's funny. Um, but yeah, this thing, it's super cool. Cool little showpiece, and then let's see. What I thought was fun too was, let's see. Let me show you the other thing I technically, well, I didn't technically, I definitely bought it. Because they give you like a plastic, or not plastic, a cardboard box to carry around with it. And I'm like, I think I saw with lightsabers, you gotta make that your last thing to do because it's like it's a bitch to carry that thing around. And I guess they ship it out for not too much. I think $15 to ship it, which is not bad.
That's not horrendous.
No, like especially for that thing, like that's actually not bad. But I always drive, so it's like what the fuck ever. If I get it, I get it. Let's see. And there's definitely like the kids version of like that lightsaber thing because they can't obviously be spending $250 for each kid to make their own lightsaber. So I got myself like a little backpack with it, which was nifty because like we got this thing at like 5 p.m. and we were at the park till 10, so it was cool. But the cool little thing is like it's like one of those like bougie those bougie pet parents, and so it's also kind of like that where whoops, before my computer comes crashing down. You can walk around the park showing that thing off like that. So it's on your back, and you can like, he's looking out. It's like a pet carrier where it's like you're looking out, and he could look. He says anyone could just look at your droid as it's watching out at you, which I thought was cute.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah, the whole experience was cute. Definitely, I do want to try that lightsaber one eventually, just because even if I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, I'm a sucker for a cool ass showpiece, and if you make a cool experience with it, then fuck yeah. And if it's unique, hell yeah. And then, all right, so last thing I got, totally unrelated to video games. David, you ever watch the Mandela catalog?
Yes.
So they had the little plushie they announced like a few months back. So I got that preacher plushie, which it looks horrendous.
It does.
When you look from far away, this thing looks like a fucking nightmare. But that means it's good. So big shout out to them. Let's see, only 2,195 made. So cool. I'm gonna show this off when I get to class because I'm gonna definitely be showing some of the students some analog horror because I think among the things to do, I think analog horror to me seems like, yeah, I'm not saying it's not a lot of work to do. I'm saying that it's the most accessible to make, which is cool, right? Like,
yeah,
you can definitely work on like Local 58 and stuff like that. Like, you can definitely work on that now. Like, if I were to work on that, we can make that. It's not saying it would come out as well because it's one of those things. It feels like one of those it's like a fighting game character where it's like low barrier of entry but high skill ceiling, right? Like, yeah, anyone can come in and make those things, which is cool, but like if you're really good, it's way up there, right? So
exactly.
That's why I appreciate analog horror. It's like it's really impressive when people make something good out of it because you're like, damn, that stood out, right? You got to make it really stand out. But yeah, which been diving into a lot of that kind of stuff, trying to figure out. You're a Wendigo fan, aren't you?
I watched some stuff here and there.
You ever hear? He had that video out like I think a week or two ago. The Yuba County 5.
No, I haven't seen that one.
So it was interesting because I watched Nexpo's video of it. Maybe you watched Nexpo's video of it. You watch a lot of Nexpo?
Yeah.
You saw his video on like the 5 kids that went missing inside the.
Yes.
Wendigoon had a video on that, and it goes more in depth. And Wendigoon was like. Talk about how he is like petrified of this story. He was like, I lost like multiple nights of sleep over this story. And I'm thinking, I'm like, it was a weird story, but it didn't really strike me as like scary. But the way he describes it and the way he explains it, I'm like, okay, I could see why. But he goes like super in depth. I highly recommend it. It's a really good watch, and it was funny because I just watched that next video like a week ago prior, so I was like, all right, cool. And then I was trying to formulate it. I did one of those YouTube download videos, and I was like, kind of formulating like, all right, what what happened? Because they don't know what happened. He does give more details on what may have been going on, um,
Yep.
and it's all very interesting. But if anyone's out there, I don't want to keep vague, so I'll give you kind of a basic lowdown. Five kids. I shouldn't say kids. They're like late teens. I want to say early
Yeah.
20 might have been like the youngest, maybe like 20 maybe. They go out and they have special needs. Most of them have special needs, but like that's almost like a background thing. They're all like perfectly capable.
Yeah.
Because it's like old time where whatever. They're still like properly whatever. Okay, so they go out to go watch a game. They come back. No, they don't hear from them, and they find their car way off of where we're not supposed to be. Like there was like totally off track of where they were supposed to head home, and their home was like a straight shot from where they were, down the freeway, but they were off, and the car was stuck, but not so stuck that it couldn't have been unstuck by five guys. So a lot of them were like athletic too. It could have been unstuck, and then like the window was down and the keys were gone. I think it was, or something like that. And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and the one of them that's their car fucking loves that car. Like, takes fucking care of it. So it's like, why the fuck is that? Then like one guy saw them when he was up there in the front, and then like he had weird stories about it. Anyway, they search for them and they find four of the five. Two were off down a trail. One was in some safety forest ranger spot 20 miles into the forest, which by the way, it's snowy wintertime and they did not have jackets or anything. Their parents told them, hey, take a jacket, and they're like, I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm just gonna go to this thing and come back. I don't need a jacket. And they were out there. So one made it out there, and he was like mummified, like he'd been wrapped up in like blankets, and he was dead. And they found shoes of the other one, and there was one more that was kind of off the beaten path of there, and they never found the last one. And they're trying to speculate what the fuck happened, because what could cause five perfectly able boys to just leave their car and not only just turn back and go back down, because I guess 8 miles down the hill, or down the big path was a like, I think a lodge, which they could have found help. Instead of doing that, they go 20 miles up that way, and not only 20 miles up that way, but like the longer path of it up there. And it's just like, there's so much speculation, and no one knows what the fuck happened. And there's like a bunch of ideas, like, because like the oldest one that was never found was the newest of the group. He'd been there for like maybe like, I'm not even gonna say time, but he was the newest, and he had like schizophrenia, and he had definitely like a past of like of crime, like not crime, but like definitely had a bad past, but like he was on the up and up and totally good by then. But people like to blame it on him and say something happened there. And then the one of the kids that was in there is like ridiculously paranoid and afraid of the dark and hates the forest. So like, what the fuck would they even be there to begin with? Again, this is like something out of the beaten path. Like, it's not like they took a wrong turn somewhere. It's like they actively chose to go up this place. Then they were there, and it's like they just booked it. It's like, that's how it looks like. They booked it. It's such a bizarre and bewildering story. The Yuba County Five. Check out the Wendigo one. He goes down a bunch of paths, and then he gives his own like explanation. I think it's a very fair, and he gives a pretty sound reasoning as to what he thinks happened, and I think it's a very astute and totally plausible thing that may have happened. Is it? I don't know. Uh, but it's one of the more viable things that may have happened to them, we think. Um, Highly recommended. There was that. I tried to watch this documentary called The Sweat Room, which is the one of how Disney Disney's Rocky Road with Emperor's New Groove, and how that was almost like cut entirely, and then how it was box office bomb and all this stuff. That was I'm gonna try to finish that because the internet was spotty. And then of course got through some more Small Town Murders. Small Town Murders is the quintessential road trip podcast. Like
Fucking primo.
There's no better podcast on a road trip because one, the shortest episodes are like an hour. The more common episodes are like 3 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Which is hilarious because listening to the ones in the beginning, they're like, oh, we're not going to take up too much time. You know, we couldn't imagine going for super long. And then they start.
And then SpongeBob 3 hours later. 3
Yeah.
hours later. And they don't get boring. That's the fun part is like, you're never like, all right, get the fuck on with it. It's like, no, that whenever they're engaged and even if they sidetrack, you're following them. They're such fucking amazing podcasters. It's I can only dream of having like a chemistry and a wherewithal to go the way they do, because they kill it every single time. Every episode is astounding. Yeah, they're on like 406 episodes now, and they're still going. They have I need to listen to Crime and Sports eventually. They always say it.
I do want to give that one a go at some point.
They always say it every fucking time I hear them describe it. I'm like, I want to listen to it. I just don't get around to it. And then
you don't need to like sports in order to enjoy it. Like you don't need to enjoy small towns to enjoy Small Town Murders.
Yeah, they have their Patreon, which I'm gonna pledge their Patreon soon because I want to see their backup blogs or the backlog stuff. They're doing Casey Anthony soon on their Patreon. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be fucking hilarious. They're also doing I forget what it's called, but they're doing a new show too called like Bad Opinions or something like that, and they're gonna go through a bunch of reviews of just shitty opinions. I'm okay with that too. I'm fine with that. So yeah, big shout out, Small Town Murder. If you're ever on a road trip that's like 4 hours and over, please just get an episode 2 of Small Town Murder, however long they are, because it's just fucking amazing. I'm flabbergasted sometimes too, because it's funny. It's such an incredible concept. It's one guy knows it, one guy doesn't, and you are along the ride with the guy that does not know it, so you're reacting the same exact way he's reacting, and the other guy's just goading him along with it, which is fucking hilarious. But yeah. David, did you play anything else this week?
No.
Did I? No. David, let's talk about your favorite company.
Which one?
It starts with a B and ends with an Izzard.
Bitches be crazered. No. So yes, there are 2 big things happening with Blizzard. First and foremost, the continuing saga.
Congratulations, by the way, to FTC. You guys tried.
The FTC finally has to let Microsoft and Activision be. But the drama is not over. The EU still has until the end of October to finish the fight that they're doing over there. It still means that it's 3 more months until this shit's done.
I love the tweet I saw where it was like someone was like or Sony going up to the FTC saying you still got more work to do, and then they had the Green Mile guy from Green Mile saying, "I'm tired, boss." It's like it literally was like the FTC was like literally just a bunch of Sony people just trying to be like, oh, but it's not fair for Sony. It's like no one gives a shit. But for all intents and purposes, it's done. There's like no way it doesn't go through. And I don't know if you have it. Do you have the Call of Duty story on here, David?
No, I don't.
So big shout outs. A lot of Call of Duty, Jesus, a lot of Call of Duty servers, uh, went, I got fixed of old games. We're talking like Black Ops, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare. They got fixed, and it's confirmed. Microsoft fixed them. Um, Activision's been very shitty about fixing old servers because they'd rather you play the new game. Microsoft said
Mm.
fuck that, and they went in and themselves they fixed all the old server stuff. So you could play old Call of Duty games perfectly the way you used to. No more issues. So big shouts. That's a big plus right out the gate for this whole thing. That's cool. David, now whatever
Yes.
else you have for that.
Now, on the flip side, as we all know, Overwatch League has been a gem in Blizzard's eye. They've been doing nothing but supporting it as much as they can. But unfortunately, it's been too much for them. So step one is they're basically cutting the league down as much as they can, layoffs everywhere, outright paying teams to not fucking re-up anymore.
Yeah. So let's break that down a little bit.
Yeah.
The Overwatch League has been a money sink consistently. I think, David, let's talk about the other one with Overwatch first, because I think that this kind of ties back into the Overwatch League as like a catalyst. Do you have that one or no?
Fair. Talking about where it may be starting to find a new home.
No, so Overwatch 2 has just been like not doing well. It's
Imagine
been
that.
Yeah, it's been dropping, and they mentioned it. Diablo, by the way, popped off. Diablo sold an insane amount. But Overwatch has been faltering. Retention's been bad. So they mentioned that they're really hoping that this next season, season 6, is the big one. This is the one
Yep.
where the PVE comes in, and they're claiming, they're saying like this is the big content drop. This is the big content drop, the biggest one in Overwatch. Sans Overwatch 2, the big jump from there. This is the biggest jump we're gonna have in terms of content. So they're really hoping this one hits. Which I mean I don't want it to fail. So it's like I would hope so too. But it's pretty dire. So there's that, and then that subsequently also affect the league. Since the inception, it's been bad for the league. All right, so it's been rough. Kel says Overwatch League potentially being canceled kind of bums me out. One of the first team esports I really got into. I agree. I've been off and on esports, but Overwatch League is the one that I got in team wise, right?
Yeah.
But it's been a money sink for everyone. They've not made their money back. I think a lot of it has to do with the mishandling of Overwatch. Overwatch as a game has been misaligned into what it is, right? Like Jeff Kaplan has always wanted a PvE game. People dig into Overwatch like early interviews, and they've always said that Overwatch is the training wheels, meaning that Overwatch was never meant to be this big. Let me take it back. Overwatch, the PvP was never meant to be this big. Overwatch PvP was meant to be like the small stepping stone to real Overwatch.
Yeah.
And then Overwatch blew up, and they were like, "Oh shit! Oh fuck! All right, we gotta support this thing now." Overwatch 2 was meant to be what Overwatch 1 proper is. And that makes sense when you look back into Overwatch Origins Edition and stuff like that. Like, Overwatch was meant to be a side multiplayer mode just to get them geared up to run the PvE. And that obviously blew up into its own massive thing, which is unfortunate that they never saw it like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
they kind of just like, it was misaligned. It was like, some people were like, hey, this is huge, let's do this. But like, can I blame them? Not really, because like you see Jeff Kaplan's like, but that wasn't the vision. The vision is like, stay on track, let's do this. But then like, it's weird, and I get it now, but like it doesn't really help though. Like it doesn't matter. The damage is done, and the damage is that Overwatch as a franchise much like Halo too, which is unfortunate, right? It's like I'm getting a double
Yeah.
whammy in terms of my favorite franchise here. It's just getting so mishandled in terms of what the fuck to do with this thing. Um, and it sucks. And yeah, so Overwatch League has not brought in money. A fucking team from one of the China teams just hasn't played this season. They just dipped the fuck out. They just didn't even do anything. They just disappeared, and which I mean that lost them even more money technically because according now, what's happening now is that they're gonna go through and they're gonna recalibrate the league and they're gonna give every team what's gonna happen going forward if they choose to continue. If they don't, they get 6 million back. Each team gets $6 million back, so they get some money. But if they choose to continue via the new money payout or whatever they're doing with that, then it goes forward. So it's like, is it canceled? No. But there better be a hell of a fucking plan if they want that to keep up.
Yeah.
Gladiator said it's their last season too. If they can't sell the spot, they will just vacate end of the season. Yeah, I don't see Overwatch League going on past this season. Overwatch League, it's an interesting idea, but the way it was executed was very bizarre, right? You got you got the city-based teams, which is a cool idea, but that means nothing. Dallas had a full Korean squad,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like bringing Korean players out of their home into like a whole different city. It creates a disconnect of like of city. Like there's no cohesiveness in terms of city. No one in their city is playing for that city, right? So it's like
Right.
that doesn't matter. And then not only that, but the teams themselves were disconnected from the franchise. So for example, London Spitfire were owned by C9. The only way you would know that is by the color. Otherwise, you wouldn't know that. So therefore, like, is Cloud9 really getting anything off of being the London Spitfire team? No, because you'd have to like go in and find out that they're owned by C9. Cloud9. So it's like it doesn't matter. So maybe like that also got off on a weird start. There's a lot of weird mishandlings on there. Ultimately, what's kind of the bummer thing about all this, Blizzard going in and demanding to run the esports themselves shot themselves in the foot so hard because this could have been grassroots managed to a point where we probably could have been here. Right? Like
Yeah.
when it started, we had stuff like Apex going on and the tournament series, not the game. And they were running that, but then when Overwatch when Blizzard said no, we're doing this and we're shutting everything else down, everyone was like, all right, cool. So the only way you could do things is through the league, which really tunnel visions the entire way of doing it, right? So it just sucks. It sucks. As someone that's been through the Blizzard arena and got to watch some games, as someone that's been to 8 grand finals game and went to I did like the 3. I went to the Blizzard arena for an in-person game. I went to a homestand and I went to grand finals.
Yeah.
All really fun. Like I had just a fucking blast doing that. It's so cool. Those events are so cool. It sucks to see this fall the way it is. I mean, it's like I can't say anything other than like it makes sense to me. Like the way it ran out, it sucks. And I'm not blaming any of the production because they tried whatever they could. This season they've been trying a lot more like a TV show kind of style where they got like different segments and hosts are playing around and stuff like that. They tried and it just did not work out. And yeah, in terms of Gladiators too, big shout outs. My favorite player actually retired, Dante. He dipped out and said he's done with Overwatch. Big Gladiators moment. So my favorite player is out. It's my team fucking busted the fuck out of it this last couple games. It's a bummer right now. But if this is the end, I hope Grassroots picks it right back up and does their thing with it. Otherwise, if it's the end, then if no one else wants to pick up that torch, I'd be shocked if no one did. But if no one does, then it was a fun ride. It's unfortunate that it's end that way, but I hope Overwatch can flourish somehow, some way. Because I mean, even back when when David played, it was fun. Like 6 of us hanging out there playing Overwatch was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
We had a really good time playing that game. And just it hurts whenever these people just do not manage these games properly. Here's my conundrum, David. Here's where my brain conflicts. At the end of the day, a good game is a good game, and I'll play the game just because it's fun. Halo 2 didn't have. I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait for the next map pack. That's the only thing I'm playing. I was like, I play Halo 2 every day because it was fucking fun. Smash, yeah, I'm excited for the next fighter, but I still play Smash right now. Why? Because it's fucking fun. Overwatch, I played even through the end when there was no content. Why? Because it was fun. It's weird when we get to a point now where it's like gamers have to have constant new content to play, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, does Halo have a lack of content? Yes, it does. It does. It 100% does. But if the game is fun, like the game is fun, like why do we need that? So, but I would say this: if Halo Infinite had a lot more content up front, people would be caring less about it. So I get that, but it's just unfortunate when it's like it just feels like, yeah, you guys gotta keep these games alive. Personally, if the game's fun, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna play it. If Street Fighter 6, David, right now, if Street Fighter 6 had said no more fighters ever, no DLC fighters, I'm not gonna say, well, I'm not playing that game. There's no more future
No,
for it.
100% not.
I'm like,
Okay.
the game was fun, and the game's fun. I will play it right now, and I'll keep playing it. Cool.
Straight up. And that's also, again, like the weird thing, and maybe it is just that generational gap to a degree, because we come not expecting anything else. You know, we didn't have expansions, we didn't have DLC.
No,
we
you know
didn't
what
have-
started the like even then? It was like Call of Duty though. It was like Call of Duty and then Battlefield to an extent where it's like you had to
Yeah.
keep earning these guns. You have to. It's progression. Like you're like we have to progress. We have to keep getting new things, new things, new things, new things. Dude, Babylon 1943 was like 6 guns, 5 maps, and that was the shit. I didn't level up shit. You don't level up shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? I put hours in that game because it's fun. It's just, it's so bizarre and weird to me because like we don't come from a generation of like we needed things, right? It's like you got the game, and that was it. Maybe you get a patch. Maybe communities make some maps. Maybe, but that's it. And you know what? I ain't complaining. I had a good time. I sound like a boomer like that, but I do also understand that now is different, and now you need content, and now you need to keep pumping out fresh things.
Yeah.
And it just sucks when these companies didn't get that, though, right? Like they just don't understand that, and because of that, Halo's like a non-thing in my mind, which sucks because Halo Infinite I fucking loved. I thought that was a lot of fun. I would like play Halo Infinite right now, but it just kind of bums me out.
Yeah.
Speaking of, really quick, did you play Rashid yet?
No, not yet.
Did you get in the Tekken 8 network test?
No, I'm gonna wait for Tekken 8 because I already know I'm gonna enjoy fucking Tekken 8, so I'd rather just wait and let it be release day and go.
Sure, I would have signed up if I knew it. I missed it, but I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I do want to play Street Fighter 6. I've been itching to play Street Fighter 6, though. I've been like,
Yeah, we'll find some time soon. I'll actually, not next week, but the week after, I will have a bunch of free time as the fiance.
What date is that?
Wedding. August 3rd.
oh, cool, that's right when I start work, brother.
God damn it.
I start on the 31st.
Well,
We'll figure it out. But yeah. Overwatch is an unfortunate thing. It's I still like it. I was playing earlier today. I play most every day if I can, but it's a bummer.
Yeah.
David,
that's what happens when you do so much to break your fucking biggest esports game and do so much to divide the community. With the cruel irony of which being, instead of making an actual fucking sequel and just building on top of the original, was so they didn't have to worry about splitting the community.
I think what In a perfect world, let's what do you call it? Let's make hypotheticals.
Hell
David,
yeah.
you are the head. You are Jeff Kaplan.
I am Jeff Keighley of the Overwatch team.
You are Jeff. I don't know. I was thinking of a fun name or whatever. You're Jeff. All right. You have this vision, and let's make it clear. Overwatch Origins Edition. And let's say how I said it. All right. This is your prequel baby game for the real game. And the real game being what Overwatch 2 was meant to be, or right, like the hero missions, hundreds of them, yada yada yada. You are all set to do that, and you release Overwatch as like a here's a little taste of our world, right? David, let's put you in Jeff Keighley's shoes. Jeff Keighley of the Kaplan team. There you are. Overwatch Origins releases, and it's fucking huge, David. What do you do?
What do I do as to continue on from there?
Because remember, you have this idea that this is not supposed to be how it is. It's supposed to be like, yeah, people are gonna like it, of course. You're not saying out to not like it, but this is blown up to a point where like, what do you do? Because you have to make this. You're still planning. All blueprints are leading to you making that PVE.
So going all the way that far back.
Yes,
then.
let's fix this fucking franchise.
All right. So theoretically, I am Jeff Keighley of the Overwatch.
I'm kicking back. I'm ready here.
And I go ahead and I basically do what in my brain I think I'm doing, and I release a glorified demo that is the competitive multiplayer, while I let the team cook on the real content. And people are like, "No, I really want that." All right,
It's a conundrum. It's a conundrum. It's a legit conundrum.
So knowing what I had intended, what I would do initially is I honestly probably would put a smaller dedicated team off to the side. And initially I would just be like, all right, keep working on this. Not go full skeleton crew on it, but definitely be like, okay, this seems to have blown up more than we expected it to. We do need to do the smart thing and capitalize on it while we can, but we don't also want to lose sight of our vision. Smaller team, focus on this and slim it down a bit. We know we had a grander goal, because I mean that was the whole thing with it. It was Project Titan originally, so it was designed as an MMO originally, but immediately have the idea of like, okay, we're probably not going to 100% go that route day one. We're going to focus on this, capitalize on this. So probably my first year would almost be similar in concept, where I would go ahead, really just kind of let a multiplayer competitive team dedicated to it focus on doing that. And then be like, all right, cool. You guys go ahead and enjoy this journey, and we're going to give you a year of support on this multiplayer mode, on this competitive style, and we'll see where it goes. Then at that 1 year point is where you would check in, and you would do surveys to the community, and you would get kind of an idea of what community expectations are at that
now
point.
let's put ourselves in the shoes there. 1
All right.
year in is often regarded as the golden age of Overwatch. Everyone's fucking loving that shit.
So 1 year in, at that point, everyone's just like, no, this is fine. In which case, then, what I would do is, I was Jeff Keighley, is I would go ahead and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. It's clear everyone is really just happy with this. We need to really build around this. But we need to understand that competitive games like this do have a life cycle. I would study what a lot of other things do out there. You know, you have Call of Duty, which does a yearly fucking release, and you see your corporate overlords having like 8 different studios pumping out a new one each year. You look at other communities, you're like, well, there's this example over here of like MOBAs where they basically just go until they die.
20
And
in
then there's, like,
2017, where PUBG is about to step up on the surface right there.
Exactly.
And
But then on
Fortnite.
the other side, you know, if you look at more competitive kind of things, you do have like the RTS scene, and then you have the fighting game scene. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Really kind of taking the time at that point to be creating a roadmap of how long do we invest in this version of it. Keeping in mind console cycles, keeping in mind how we're going to go ahead and continue to grow and develop. And it would honestly be at that point that I would be committed to probably doing kind of like Nintendo with Smash, where just every new console cycle will plan around that time. There's your Overwatch 2. You know, the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X would have hit. I would have already been planning and designing around a conclusion to Overwatch for around that time. New console streams hit, bam, there you go. Here's your actual dedicated Overwatch 2. And then build out a lot more of what you actually wanted. Honestly, kind of what it sounded like the initial intent to try and retrofit some of that stuff in there.
It sounds like exactly what they were
but have
trying
it
to
actually-
do.
Yeah, but again, I think the key difference is it sounded like they really didn't want to scale as much back as they could.
And
again, because they
and
just kept building on the same
that,
thing.
but let me cut you off there because Kels
Yeah.
mentioned we do have Kodak there, who mentioned, because they did have some Team 4 come out saying, hey, it would have been cool because Kodak would come in here and say, hey, do this, and they would spend time doing that, and he'd come back and say, nah, we're good. So like,
I mean, when you add him in there,
yeah,
there's
that's why I
only
didn't.
so
That's
much
why I
you
didn't.
can do,
Yeah, that's
but-
why I didn't say that, just because we're doing hypotheticals, and you can't predict with the fucking idiot like Kodak in there doing some stuff like that to these teams.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that kind of shows that the heart was in the right spot, and they tried to, but it's hard when that's just a hard conundrum to deal with. Like, it genuinely is a hard, weird, like, way to, like, oh, fuck, well, I guess we can't do our original vision, right? So it's like, then do you lose out on some of the heart of it, right? Then you're like, well, some of the team members were building and wanting that, right? So it's an unfortunate situation, but you can't change the past, and like whatever the game turns into, it turns into.
Yeah.
David, what else is bad with Blizzard lately?
Well, not necessarily bad per se, but kind of interesting in the wake of what's going on with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. But it has been confirmed that we are going to start seeing some Blizzard games starting to appear on other platforms.
Steam?
In fact, go ahead.
Steam, sir?
Yeah,
Are
Steam
you saying
indeed.
Gavin, Mr. Gabe Newell, still wins?
Lord Gaben wins so fucking hard. I mean, we've already
He doesn't
seen
even try to
Blizzard-
do anything. He just wins.
We already saw Blizzard put out a lot of their retro stuff on GOG. So that's where you can go ahead and get versions that work on modern PCs for Diablo and Warcraft 1 and 2. So it is interesting to see some of their classic lineup stuff being on GOG. But with the advent of Overwatch 2 being the first game in August of Blizzard's to hit there, it'll be curious to see how much more continues to get ported over. But yeah, no. Fucking Lord Gaben wins and keeps winning. But that, you know what that also means is Steam Deck compatibility, baby.
Yeah, so it already kind of was. You had to do some workarounds, but this should hopefully pick the community up, because now when you see Overwatch 2 as a banner and one of the top free played games, then yes, now this does help a ton, which is good.
Especially because, again, that is one of the things is I think that a lot, even though the PC community is so massive and sprawling, it's honestly the fact that it is so massive and sprawling that it can be hard to get into the market. Quite frankly, as unfortunate as many would perceive it to be, and I do kind of agree on the concept of it. At the end of the day, if you're not on Steam, it's very much unlikely most PC gamers are going out of their way to see what the hell you have going on.
Yeah. It is in a lot of ways a monopoly. It's not, but it's just a monopoly everyone's content with because of just how rock solid it is.
It's not a monopoly in the same sense that like Google is not a monopoly when it comes to search engines. Are there alternatives? Yes. Are there, to some degree, better and honestly just as good, at least, options? Yes. But is it the first name that anyone thinks of when they think of search engines? Yes. And that's how it is with Steam and PC gaming.
But also,
the
like,
first thing people think of now.
But also, like, again, Steam is just like, it's just so well built, right? It's like everyone know it's reliable, and then the refund policy, the refund policy is so next level on that, which is what just does it even better, right? If it wasn't for Steam just kind of like doing that stuff and like even like a refund thing, I swear, if like, call me crazy, if a rival, let's say like in a world where Epic came out as hard as they did, just as they are right now, came out, but they did have that refund policy, and let's say Steam didn't, then I think the tides could turn. But like Steam just always stays ahead of the game by doing the consumer good parts of it, then no one cares. Like, it's like fine.
No, 100%. Steam is one of the most consumer friendly platforms. They actively do so much to encourage community content to the point where they actively support
the discoverability is actually, even for like a fucking wasteland of like nonsense that Steam is, like, discovery is actually not too bad.
No, and they do, like you said, the refund policy is next fucking tier. There just genuinely is so much for a consumer perspective that it's very easy to understand why, from a developer standpoint, it does feel like they kind of have you by the balls to a degree, and it may not necessarily always feel like the most fair platform because of that. But it's hard to argue as a consumer that fucking Lord Gaben's got your back,
Right. He wins so much. He just wins by not doing anything, just because he just wins.
True.
Was that all you were gonna say on that?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I really had to say on that.
Another big thing, actually. Let me before I get the end of there quick. I want to get to the Kel's comment. Call me crazy, but selling the show cartoon rights to Netflix or XYZ Network would have been taking a ton of pressure off game development or expectations of the game. Yes, selling like an Overwatch show. I agree. Because everyone was saying, everyone was saying, and I know even Gore, like in every single reaction, if they ever made like an Overwatch movie, it would have done.
Truly, I don't get how Blizzard hasn't fucking capitalized more on fucking actual multimedia content. They did the one Warcraft movie, which wasn't the greatest domestically, but did fucking gangbusters overseas. But still, it's fucking wild to me, with such story-rich, fan-beloved IPs, that they haven't just gone ahead and fucking just thrown money at studios to be like, hey, go ahead and make us a property. Like, imagine if they went like the Cyberpunk route, where they went ahead and they tapped the shoulders of like an anime studio to be like, bro, go make us a StarCraft.
Dude, well, they were. Because like the shorts they had, they obviously worked with these companies and they developed, and like every short is really good. Like it's obscene. Every short is good, and some of them like go viral and did really fucking good. I'm flabbergasted that one of their routes to like subdue the gap of content wasn't, hey, like I would have been like in 20, if my team was gung ho, we wanted this PvE, I would have been like, all right, let's do what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit this spot in like 2020 to like 2022. We're gonna have no content. That's gonna be tough. What do we do? You foresee that too. 2018, shouts to Brig fucking up the game, by the way. But hey, 2018, if I see that, I'd have been like, all right, let's start talking to these studios. Who do we talk to tap into to make an Overwatch movie? 2020, put out a movie, or 2021, put out that movie to like stopgap the content, and you got a whole thing there.
Yeah.
And you know what? Fuck it. Make the movie like a tie-in to where the game is gonna go. Cool. So there you go. You have like a good way to stopgap that while the team is catching up. Um, Kels, I think the Doomfist short was made by a Korean anime company too. Like, what the fuck? Why do you not jump all over that? Yeah, like they had that like anime. They had the CG. Obviously, like they could have gone a lot of different plays with it. I'm stunned that that wasn't a route because like I swear every single run that every person that I watched that was like, why the fuck is this not a movie? How is this not a movie? Like I
Yeah.
would have for sure did some of that to like stop gap that for sure. Like that's nuts. Um, what were we talking about before that? Okay. Hey, I want to give a big shout out. Something else died this week. Rest in peace, Xbox Live.
Well,
Xbox Live is dead. David, your free games are gone.
are they?
I do believe, David, unless I'm misreading, the games that you've received with Games with Gold are now tied to your account.
Yes.
So it's funny because we actually had that conversation like a week or two ago too, where we was like, I know that was originally the intention, but I felt like that changed over time, but I don't think it did either. But now it's for sure. So no longer is it if your subscription lapses, you don't have those games, you have the games. It's fine.
Yeah.
Xbox Live is dead. Xbox Game
Pepperoni
Pass
and cheese.
Core, which is funny because Xbox Live got name dropped by Satya like during that FTC thing too, which is interesting. But Xbox Game Pass Core is not a thing. So now, whenever you have that, you just have like 25 or some games that are just like free out the gate, which is interesting. But I think does this change anything for any of us? Not really. Like we're all paying for Game Pass at that point, so fuck it. But
Yeah, the cruel irony is if me of the past had gone down a different route and actually went Xbox Primary, all y'all that were Xbox Primary and were Gold original members from day one, you all are eating fucking great.
how so? Oh, because like the
There's
games you get
so
attached.
many years of free Xbox 360 games that are just forever tied to your account
The
regardless.
360 games are always tied to your account regardless. It's the Xbox One games that were on there, which are now
Gotcha.
tied. But yeah, no. It just it's one of those things that Xbox Live was not really a thing to me anymore, right? Like the idea of what Xbox Live
Yeah.
has evaporated many years ago. But with that said, it does suck to see the name kind of go down. I've had Xbox Live since I want to say 2005. I think so. Halo 2 bought that thing out, and that was Xbox Live Halo 2. That Christmas was literally the most. What do you call it? It's like the it's a tip of my tongue. What's the word? Fuck it. It's the what do you call it? What was that across the Spider-Verse term now? I'm just gonna go with that word instead.
Canon event.
That was Adrian's canon event right there. Xbox Live. Dude, that changed what games were to me. There's like a few moments in my life, I don't know if you have these, but I can tell you there's a handful of moments in gaming in my life that like divided my path into a certain way.
Yeah.
There was when I first walked in. I remember my first time I ever experienced a video game was walking into my cousin's room and he had a Genesis there and he was playing Sonic. That was a canon event. I remember when I walked into their house and they had a 64. They were playing Star Fox 64. Those were big moments for me. A big moment was when one of my neighbors sold me his GameCube before I moved away from California when I was like 12. He sold me his GameCube with like I think 12 or 13 games, and a lot of them were the big ones. Like you had Sunshine, you had Melee on there. A big one of the biggest ones was when I remember I was in fourth grade, and I killed my report card. I fucking nailed it that year, and my dad took me to I think I want to say like Walmart or Target, I forget which. And he stood me. This was the canon moment. It was like I stood in front of the canon event. It was like I stood in front. He just stabbed me in front of the pillars. It was the GameCube. It was the Xbox. It was a PS2. He's like, all right, pick. And I was like, ooh, as a fourth grader, I just didn't realize how my life was getting defined literally at that moment. And I was thinking, I was like, I got a 64 and I like Nintendo, but like, I'm ready to spice it up a little bit. I looked at the Xbox, the PS2, and I was like, my cousin has a PS2, so let's try something different from that too. So I wanted to be different, so I got an Xbox. And then what did I go for? Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. And there was my dad looking at the games, and on the corner of one of the box. Let me see. Do I have it here? Do I have it here somewhere? Yeah, there it is. It's still my original copy, by the way. Hold up. Gotta get those stretches in. My dad was sitting at that thing after I had picked Xbox. He looked at a certain little thing caught his eye, and it said "Game of the Year" on this spine, and there's that bad boy right there.
Hell yeah!
And didn't know what the fuck this was. So I didn't play it for a while. I was enjoying Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 is fucking incredible. And then I was done with that game, and I'm like, all right, let me try this game. Didn't know what the fuck was going on, but I'm playing it. And then I remember I could not figure out my way through level 3. That was Truth and Reconciliation. That was one where you go up to the Covenant ship, and I couldn't figure that shit out.
Yeah.
Then eventually I found my way around there, and I go through the next level, and that's when it hit. And I was then like when you get to the flood, and I realized, oh, video games have stories in them because I am a fucking Nintendo gamer, and I'm like, what the fuck? There's stories in video games, and there I am like fourth grade summer going through this, and I'm like fucking minds blown, and then all that stuff, and I loved it. Like it was so poignant to me. I was like, what the fuck is this? Then Halo 2 comes around. That was a thing. I'll say I think what's your most recent defining game moment? I think mine, the last one I can remember offhand. There has to be one earlier or like more recent than this, but like the last one that I remember like vividly that changed the way I saw games was Limbo. Limbo, I got that game and I played it, and it just it struck a chord in me, and I was like, whoa, this is insane. And it really opened my eyes to like what video games can still be, which was the indie games, right? But that was, I'm trying to think. There has to have been a game. I'm positive. And I'm not talking like even like games that moved you or anything. It has to be a game that like shifted the entirety.
Yeah.
Like it's beyond like, oh, this game made me cry. It's like, no, this game changed. This was the literal game changer.
You know what? I think if I'm to look at the most recent example, it probably would actually be Doki Doki Literature Club. Because it was the first one. Because I know that technically Phoenix Wright counts as a visual novel, but to me, it's more of a puzzle game than it is a visual novel.
Yeah, I don't. Every time I see it said as visual novel, I don't really associate with that much.
Yeah, but Doki Doki was the first game that really
broke your brain.
Not only made me no, not quite, because I mean, you know, we were in the art community for so long, and so many other games do weird shit like that too. But Doki Doki, there was something special about it because it was not only the first time where like I'm like, oh shit, maybe there's something to this kind of visual novel thing, but maybe actually because of what I just said, because of the fact that, you know, you and I were really big into ARG still around that period, there was a certain element of my brain that even though it never had like full on ARG-y moments, the fact that there was so much to dismantle and take,
it was a crossover episode. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, there's just so much meta narrative and meta exploration to the game that it really kind of redefined how a game could even be played for me. That the idea of the game isn't just the experience in front of you, but even beyond the borders of that, and elements of your own file system being a part of it and tying in a narrative sense to what's going on at a deeper level. I think it probably has to be Doki Doki Literature Club from the most recent one I can think of.
If I had to like, oh, I should mention actually, because I'm gonna totally forget about it and not talk about it. Hopefully I remember next week. Supernote. We talked about this. I love this thing. I
Yes.
mentioned my pen. It's been through some shit. The paint definitely
Yeah.
chipped off. And I posted on the subreddit being like, uh, "Hey, this pen. It's interesting. It's like a very visual representation of how I felt going through my grad program the last 2 years. It's like a little bits and pieces just I keep fading away in time. Just bits and pieces keep falling off, and it felt like the very English major side of me really wanted to pop out because the engraving I put was "Keep Going." It's just very like it's very poetic. I like having little poetic like little moments like that. Put that on subreddit, and they actually reached out to me, the company, and said, "Hey, our bad on the pens, like the first gen do that, so we'll send you a new one." Like,
Whoa,
yeah, they're
what?
like, "We're gonna send you a new version of it, like the new one, like not even like just they offered it like if you want still this one, like we'll give you another one, this one, or if you want, we'll give you the new one." And I was like, "Oh, sure," and they're like,
That's
"Cool,
fucking wild.
right?" So like their customer support's ridiculously awesome. Um, and they said, "Yeah, there's your color. We'll give you the white one. That one. Do you want it engraved as well?" And I was like, "Sure." And they're like, "What do you want?" And I hate when that happened. I'm like, "Fuck!" And I was on my trip too. I was like, "Ah, fuck. I gotta like think." And I was like, "All right, do I want like?" Because that's why I said too. Like I said on the post, I was like, I kind of feel like it's time to get a replacement pen because I'm like now this has done its job and it's like nice to put like a little display piece to be like this is what got me through that, right? But now it's
Yeah.
like what's next chapter? Like it's like kind of like way to like to visualize things. It's like things in chapters and this is my next chapter. So like, what is it? And I promise this goes to what I'm trying to say in a second. But I was thinking for a little while. I'm like, all right, I like a lot of music. There's not really like a song lyric because it's got to fit in there. It's got to fit like a thing. I was like, there's not really a saying and I thought I'm like, is there a game or a quote or something that I can like go back to like grasp at that kind of describes what my next chapter really wants to be? Like what describes me going into an unknown thing now? The keep going felt poignant in that like I knew what was ahead of me and I got to keep going. Now as the next chapter is like I'm confident, but I'm also nervous because there's a lot of uncertainty going forward. Now it's like, what is ahead? Is it like is it like refining and becoming better? Is it gonna turn into some drastic thing? Because like I didn't think this time last year I didn't think I was doing film at all, right? But like
Mm.
I was like, what am I doing now? Because at this time next year, if what I have planned for the film class goes off, then something else is gonna happen. It's not gonna. I'm probably gonna end up doing that whole thing full time. They're probably gonna push me to do that. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't go well. Maybe it doesn't, and I can fall back to English, which is totally fine with me. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I tried, but like it doesn't know. So I was like trying to factor all this into my brain while I'm like driving and I'm like thinking. It was like a good little prime time to be like, all right, I'm thinking ahead on the road, and then I thought, all right, I can't think of a quote so I can't think of a specific quote, but let me think of like a game. What game do I think defined me, and what can I pull from that game to really describe what's ahead? And so we talked about it, and it's gonna be a games gone by again because I promise you I will talk David into it again. We will come back to it. It's always Kentucky Route Zero for me, and I thought
Mm.
what so I said all right I think this is what I'm gonna do. So I put through the zero as my quote through the zero because I felt like the actual Route Zero was when you play that game, it's a very weird, off-putting, sinister, but like homely. Like the people you meet are very like kind. There's not really anyone mean to you, but like the world around you is weird and like are very off-putting. But you also don't know what's going ahead of you, right? Like sometimes there's some weird shit that's ahead of you. You don't know. So I thought like going through the Route Zero through the zero was like a really cool little poignant moment in my life to do that. So I say that to roundabout away. There's two games I would say would potentially be a canon event. What it would be either Kentucky Route Zero because it's literally and I contradict myself because that's not a game that makes you cry, but like that's the closest game like has ever gotten me. Like Persona 5 Royal was like right there too, but like Kentucky Route
Mm.
Zero more in like a holy shit that like hit me. But I think the only other one that really kind of affected the way I think of video games is probably just near Automata, where it's like the way it did things, the way everything just kind of like spiraled into this weird cacophony of just like the bizarre, but like so wholesome but not so warm, but like it's maybe it's ADHD brain thinking, David, but like I love when things are offset.
Yeah,
I love sweet and salty. I love like
agreed.
I love when tastes are jarring from one another. Where it's like, oh, that's a taste, but that's a taste.
I
It
would always 9 times out of 10 prefer a bittersweet moment over a neatly bowed ending.
yeah, because if like everything's like too happy, it's like, like okay, but like what now, right? It's like if everything's too dour, you're like, okay, but like it's really good to have like that bittersweet because you're like, okay, it can go either way, and that's kind of what like Near is all the way through. It's like there's good, but there's bad. You could be like David and roll up in that village and just fuck everything up, and that's terrible.
Hell yeah.
But I don't know. It's cool that someone as fucking weird as Yoko Taro can do what he wants, and it like it hits right. Um, I think that's also like a good gaming canon moment for me. So I would say probably those two games, but I feel like there's probably someone missing though too. I'm sure. Doki Doki was a big one too. I think so too. I need to play Plus, dude. I've not played Plus. We talked about that. Plus will be a Games Got By. I promise you. And it probably will be one of the early.
Yeah.
It'll be an early episode. I promise you. Because every time I look at it, it's always I don't know how it's fucking Monica. It's always like on the fucking top of my fucking Steam, just trying to fucking tempt me into that shit. So, I probably will play that eventually. God bless it. I love watching people play that for the first time ever. They just don't know what the fuck's going on. But I like it when they have the context of what's happening too, right? You can't just have
Yeah.
you can't just have them play that and they just like, oh, okay, that's scary. But you gotta have them know the whole point is that it's cheery, just like every single one of these things, right? Nope. That's the fun part. Um, I, you know what's fun, David, is I have on my MacBook. Come on, Juice. I see you, buddy. On my MacBook, I have a rotating wallpaper, so like changes every like 30 seconds, and one of my wallpapers stops on Monica, on like on the end where you're like in that room with her, um, and like maybe one kid gets it, and everyone else is like, "What is that?" I just say, "Don't worry about it." I swear, I think one time I forget when, but it was like one time some kid asked what it was, and they said that's Monica. I said that's Monica. Oh man.
Yeah, there are two things in my house that whenever someone comes over for the first time, they get commented on the most. The one is the first one is just because it's downstairs and in central areas, the blood tree painting I have.
Hmm.
And then the second one is my Sayori poster in the back.
Nice. I have that poster still. The oh, what's the fuck? I want to play the name.
The Yuri one?
No. The Silent Hill 2 one.
Oh,
Fuck. What's the name of it? Oh, fuck. Hold on, I need to know. I have that. And I still want to get a frame for it. Silent Hill 2. What is it called? It's like Pyramid Head painting or whatever.
oh, the Red Pyramid.
What's the name of it?
I think they just call it the Red Pyramid.
No.
Like the actual painting.
No, it's this one, but it has a specific name to it, and why am I blanking on the actual name of it? Anyone in the chat wants to help me out, please God. I hate when this happens to me. Painting. It's in the historical society.
Telling you, my guy, it's literally just called the Red Pyramid painting.
I can promise you on Juice's life right now, as this one's called. Copy. Oh God, I'm trying to like make sure it's not just awkward silence while we're doing this. Also, if anyone's like audio listening for whatever reason, I swore on Juice's life right now as he's sitting on my lap. So prepare for a dead cat here. potentially.
No.
I can promise it's not happening though. Misty Day, Remains of Judgment. That's what it's called. Yeah, Misty Day, Remains of Judgment. That's the one with Pyramid Head, and it's everyone's in the boxes above him.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. See, you're gonna stay alive, buddy. Look at you. Oh.
No.
You get extra life now. You're at 10, buddy. Got you. Yeah, I have that, but I want that in like the old frame to look like that too. I think that'd be sick. What's an art piece from a video game you think you've always wanted?
Ooh, an art piece from a game. That's.
Because I feel like there's a couple that I think I want, but
Oh man, I'd have to think on that one for a bit.
I wanted to make a defining moment in my video games, like,
'Cause,
or like
like,
something that
just
just stuck.
Because there's definitely a few scenes in the House of Fata Morgana that I would absolutely adore as an actual like painting, especially if in its actual art style, because it does have that kind of blend of anime and European art. But man, like any specific ones, it's hard to say. Fuck, I'm gonna have to fucking ruminate on that one a bit. That might be a fun one to revisit for next week or something.
If we remember, I say we always do that. We're like, I always do it next week. It just never happens.
Hell yeah!
And I hate when podcasts do that because I always remember, but it's on this side. I'm like, yeah, I'll never remember that.
Chat will remind us.
You know what? I want, I'll get it eventually. I want that full mural from Smash Ultimate.
Oh, that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, like the one that's like finalized, where there's no more characters now. Just get the whole thing. I've always wanted that full thing, so I'll eventually get that. I'm sure.
That'd be absolutely fucking wild.
Yeah, put that in the game room. I almost bought a neon light for this room when I was on my trip, but I was trying to save money for the House of Mouse, so I didn't. But it's like a cool little neon astronaut on a planet. Doesn't fit anything. I don't know why I'm talking about because it's not a game, but it's for the gaming room, so that's fine with me. David, you got anything else to talk about?
There is that one other company bullshittery going on.
Go for it.
All right. So high level, Ubisoft has been doing some dirty, rotten shit again. They're starting another round of just deleting people's accounts, permanently losing all your game history forever. I double checked their terms of service about it because a lot of people are commenting on that. Apparently, if you don't log into your Ubisoft account for 6 months, they have, as according to their TOS, the right to go in and just delete your account and all your purchases.
Shoutouts.
Which also includes anything you bought on Steam that technically ties into a Ubisoft license. Because a lot of their stuff, yeah, you buy it on Steam, but it's just an activation license for the Ubisoft store. So, congratulations. Hope you don't ever buy anything on fucking Ubisoft or get fucked.
That would suck. Yeah, was there any background story as to the accounts that got deleted? Like what they said that happened if they didn't log in, or?
No, a lot of them just reached out saying, hey, what the hell is going on? And the most they ever got back in response, if they even did get a response, was just, Dad, you were far too inactive on your account. Like Ubisoft just straight up be like, yeah, get fucked.
Shoutouts.
Fuck Ubisoft.
Agreed.
And I was even gonna have some goodwill in my heart and was gonna contemplate going and giving Assassin's Creed a chance
You were
again.
talking about that last week.
Sad
You
fucking day.
were. Granted, I mean, you could play the old ones. That's fine. You get them used.
I could play the old ones, but what a bunch of fucking horseshit.
Yeah. They were everyone's heroes like a little while ago, and then they just fucking dropped off there. That's unfortunate. Dude, I think that's it for this week.
I do be thinking that's it for this week.
Call said that's probably my most recent canon event. I wonder what he was talking about in terms of what that was. My bad. Next week we'll talk. It's our Games Gone By pre-game episode. We'll talk about where to find us on there. Juice, you're shedding, buddy. We will be here. I don't know.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely stream sometime soonish. I know I was supposed to stream the other day for Elden Ring. Okay, Elden Ring is the most recent canon event. I respect that. I'm gonna stream. I do want to stream some Street Fighter. Just go back into combo trials again. I'm so itching to play Street Fighter. Like it's bad. I'll probably just play on my own here for a little bit just to get warmed up on it. Good lord, dude. Yeah. I wonder it'd be so funny if I shaved Juice. He looks so stupid.
Oh, it's so heinous. Arrow was shaved for a period of time because he could not clean himself correctly. And he looked like the saddest little naked lion.
Yeah, that's usually how they look. It's funny. But yeah, I definitely want to do Street Fighter soon. And I know I would want to do if you get a free night, David, let me know because I would definitely. I know a lot of people on here would love to do a lobby with us. There's been a handful.
Yeah, if I know ahead of time,
just tell me when.
I might be able to do it.
Just tell me when. I got next week. Next week's my last like free time, and then I can't promise after that. We'll see how well it looks, but after that we'll see. And I definitely want to next stream I have. Whoever wants to hop in on that, I'll check out my Twitter whenever I do that. We'll talk about when there's going to be a schedule. I will be streaming weekly. I promise you. I want to do that so bad. So I'll stream weekly at some point. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll find out a day next week that should work for me, and I'll get back to you on that.
Cool. All right. Well, that was it for the podcast. Thanks for hanging out. Big shout outs if you're hanging out here still, and get hyped for Barbenheimer Day.
Yeah.